Hello, everybody. It is Monday, July 14th. Hang on one second. Okay. Monday, July 14th, 7:30 p.m. If you were wondering where I'm here. So some of you maybe thought I went live at 7 because that might have been what the graphic said, which was a typo. So my apologies for that. But welcome. If you're new here, hello, my name is Cindy Pigott and I am the face behind Stampin' Chick Creations. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I have been one for almost 20 years. I can't believe I'm saying that. 20 years, that's insane. So thank you for joining me. If you are returning, thank you for coming back week after week. My normal time for going live is 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So my poster was incorrect with the 7 o'clock time frame. So my apologies to anybody that inconvenienced. As you hop on, say hello so that I know that you're here. And if you're new to my channel and have never watched me before, please let me know where you're watching me from because I'm always curious to know where my viewers are coming from. And I ask that you like and share this page and this video because that is the only way that our friends will find me, because Facebook can be very, very silly with algorithms and all the things, and it doesn't like to push things out. We just had that. Hi, Joanne. We had this exact same conversation with my daughter last night. She's organizing a very large fundraiser as her summer job. And all the things that I was posting for her was not being seen because it didn't like that I was sharing that poster. It thought it was like a marketing thing. Anyway, we found a workaround and it seems to be getting out to people. Hello, Sharon. And look, Sandy and Shirley are both here with me. It helps when I give you the right time, I think, right? So my apologies. I did put 7 o'clock on the poster. That was incorrect. I was just nicely getting home from work and getting supper into me. Hello, Miranda. Oh, from Australia. Thank you for watching. All right, we are going to do Christmas cards tonight because one of the groups that I'm in, we're doing kind of like a blog hop type thing. So it actually just made more sense to do it on my live. So hopefully our friends from that group will join in and say hello. So tonight I am going to do 3 Christmas cards. And if you place an order of $35 or more before shipping, handling, and taxes before next Monday, I will send you the card bits to this. I can't speak today. To all 3 of the cards. And then you will have to, I can't do any stamping for you, so you'll have to do the stamping yourself. But I will send you, if any die cuts or embossing, I will send you that, the ribbon, or what have you. Okay? So keep that in mind as I'm going through, and I will try to give you the names of the products in case there's something that you love. Some of it is product from last year that we're going to use, and that's because I think sometimes we get so focused on the new that we forget that we've got some really cool old stuff too, right? Hello, Charlene. Oh, very nice. Thank you for joining. So I want to just remind us of some of the product that we maybe had last year that we forgot about, because I know I forgot about some of this as well. So, all right, let's get started, because I know you did not come here to listen to me talk. You came here to watch me create, right? Okay, so if you are familiar with me, you know that I have a thing that I do, and my thing is that I always start with the card that I think I'm going to like the least. My camera is all messed up tonight, so I'm going to try really hard not to move my camera too much for you guys, because I know some people get motion sickness, but it does really actually bother me when it's not correct. So, okay, so the first card we're going to do is actually using product from last year. So to make this go a little bit smoother, I have die cut and embossed a lot of the product, just because I know that's kind of boring to sit here and watch me die cut and emboss things. So I did as much as I can. Hello, Judy. So that it kind of sped things up just a wee bit. So I am going to use Pool Party cardstock, which is not your traditional Christmas color, but I like it for this paper. Now, this card I'm doing does not necessarily have to be a Christmas card. right? So I like cards that we can use for multiple occasions. So you can make it a Christmas card, you can make it a winter card, you can make it an all occasion card, you can make it a sympathy card, right? So what I've done is I've taken the pool party cardstock, just standard pool party cardstock, and I have actually embossed it with the Birchwood embossing folder. So it's actually quite nice. We have had things like this in the past. Hello, Janet. But this is the latest one. It's beautiful, and it is 16.50 Canadian. So for those of you that are watching outside of the Canadian area, I do price everything in Canadian dollars. Okay, so then I thought it would be really cool to pull out our Nests of Winter cardstock. Now, this is a cardstock, or a designer series paper. It's not cardstock, it's designer series paper. This is one, I've got to be honest with you, that when I purchased it last year, I wasn't sure how I felt about it, right? Oh, there's Maddie and Heather as well. Welcome, friends. I wasn't sure how I felt about this paper. It was like, I think I like it, but I don't know if I like it, and I don't really know what to do with it. And it did have a stamp set and a die, I believe, to coordinate with it, but it's retired, but the paper is still current. So I had some of this paper, and I thought this is perfect paper to use to do a holiday card. So I just took the one that looks like the Birchwood, and with the Birchwood embossing folder, which I thought was kind of pretty clever of me. And then this is the other pool party paper. And then the backside has some birds, like the whole sheet is birds. So what I thought we could do is maybe just kind of layer those two on top of each other. Now, how much I layer, I mean, I could do whatever. Like I could put it this way, I could put it this way so you only see a smidge, or I could do, you know, whatever. So there's not a right and a wrong. So keep that in mind as we're creating our cards. There's never a right and a wrong when we're creating cards, and nobody knows what your card was supposed to look like. So if there's ever a boo-boo on your card, you know, I've never actually had somebody point out a mistake on my card, to be quite honest, but traditionally, most people don't tend to really comment on mistakes on your card. Like, I think that's, you know, most people really, really appreciate the fact that you've created this from scratch and put some thought into it, right? So I don't find many actually complain about that. Okay, so I am using my Tombow glue, which is one of my favorite glues. And I like it because it gives me the opportunity to move things if I get it glued down and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's in the wrong spot. It gives me that quick second to turn around and just let it dry, or let it move before it actually dries. Okay, so one thing I forgot to grab is my tearing tape. So I'm going to grab that. And so pool party, not your traditional color, right? Does anybody not like pool party as a Christmas color or a holiday color? I shouldn't say Christmas. That's very specific. I should probably say a holiday color. It's not one I probably would send out. I am a more red and green type of girl for holiday cards, but I think they have their place. So I'm wondering how many of you actually send out non-traditional colors for holiday cards. I'm always curious to know these things. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay. Now, you'll find that every once in a while I'm going to ask you if you're still there, because I think sometimes I'm here all by myself and it makes me sad. So lots of comments so that I can make sure people are still here, because sometimes my computer actually just stops working and it kicks me out and I'm still talking away and I don't even realize that there's nobody here to talk with. So friends don't let friends stamp alone, right? Okay, so I took a piece of cherry cobbler, words are really hard, and I die cut this with the Stylish Shapes dies. So it's Sandy says yuck to the pool party. I love it myself. Yeah, some people are not pool party people, but not for holiday things. I think this is kind of like a nice winter card, right? Winter color. The Stylish Shapes flag here actually has 2 lines of stitching all the way around, which is, I know, pretty hard to see on camera, but trust me, it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to actually take my Tombow. Now, when you are stamping or gluing onto anything that has an embossed surface and you're using your liquid glue, you want to make sure that you're using a little bit more adhesive because it has to get into all those crooks and crannies. Oh, see, Heather says she sends a mix and match of colors of cards. Yeah, I will grab kind of whatever I have usually, but if I'm making it, I'm usually a red and green traditional holiday color gal. I don't like to go to the box. If you know me, you know I only wear a lot of black and white. Hence, I'm wearing black and white today. You can't tell on camera, but I am. So traditionally, I wear a lot of black and white. I feel safe in black and white. I feel like I can't mess up in black and white. Okay, so I'm taking a piece, ooh, words are super hard, piece of tear and tape, and I'm just taking my bone folder and I'm rubbing that down. And the reason I'm rubbing this down is because I want to make sure it's down very, very, adhered very well. Words are super hard. I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and because I can't feel my fingers, and of course with these silly nails that I have, it's hard to get that tear and tape off. So it just peels off very nicely, makes my life a lot easier that I don't have to fight with the tear and tape. So I have my tear and tape here, and what I'm going to do, yeah, see, Janet says she likes it more for winter cards. Yeah, I agree. I think maybe winter. Blue's not Christmas. Blue's, I think, more of a holiday or a winter color too, like a cool winter color. So I'm going to take a piece of this gold weave ribbon, and it's very hard to see on camera, but I'm going to tell you that this stuff is amazing. So it's $12.25, and you get a whole, I don't have it right near me, you get quite a bit on a roll, and because it's so thin, it's awesome. It just adds a little hint of bling to your card without it being overbearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just lay this on top of where I put my tear and tape. About there. Okay. It's almost like I cut that on purpose, that right size. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is the side of the paper that we used here, but if I flip it over, and I told you it had birds on the other side, what I've done is I've actually just die cut this with that Stylish Shapes die again, and I've just cut out one of the birds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up on Dimensionals. And if you follow me, you know that I could own shares in the Dimensional company. I was upset when they said the paper snips were gone, but if they ever told me that the Dimensional supplier has stopped, I might literally cry. I have so many Dimensionals. I love Dimensionals. Okay, so here is my card. Now, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So what I could actually do is I could bring in a stamp set, and so I'm going to use this one on another card, but this one is called Jolly Holly, and it's actually a suite, so I'll showcase that a little bit later on another card. But I love this one because it has a variety of holiday themes without it being too overbearing, I guess. So I like that. You know, we have the different words kind of broke out, and then we have them in different sizes. So I could just do like a Merry Christmas. And I'm probably going to do this in a cherry cobbler, which I probably should have grabbed my, I feel like I'm going to sneeze all of a sudden. Should have grabbed my cherry cobbler ink. Ooh, yeah, all of a sudden I feel like I'm going to sneeze. So I'm going to try not to sneeze, but I can't promise you. Okay, so I am going to use my glass mat. If you follow me, you know I love this glass mat. I use it every time. Oops, except for the fact that that did not go down right. Oh boy. Is that straight? And then, where's my Christmas? Right here. So now this is very, very fine words. And they're very, very delicate stamps. So I'm going to put them together on the block. Now I could do a couple of things here. I could take my cherry cobbler marker and my old olive marker. And what I could do is actually just take, now, please keep in mind, what I am doing right now, this is a Stampin' Write marker. This is very different than your blends. You cannot use your blends to do this technique. And the reason I'm making that very clear is because learn from the person who's presenting's mistakes. Because sometimes I tell you things because I've had to learn the lesson the hard way. The Stampin' Blends will not come off your stamps. These Stampin' Write markers will. Stampin' Blends are alcohol based, so they're a little bit different. And where Stampin' Write is, what are they? They're water based. Okay, so two totally different. I found my paper snips. Two totally different things. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to use my paper snips and I'm going to actually just cut this down. Okay. And, well, where's my Christmas? There it is. Now I could have left this all as one, but I generally like to do this technique because I like to kind of break up my words sometimes. I find that it's very, gives it a whole different look. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Kaka scissors. So we all have those scissors that are not good scissors. And I'm going to pick this up here. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, which I feel like I should be doing this. Okay. So I'm going to do a Mary. And I'm going to do a Christmas. So if you don't have a Take Your Pick tool, they're actually your best friend. I had mine for quite a while and I had no idea how to use it until one of my customers had to show me when it first came out. I'd never seen such a thing. And I thought it was the silliest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's okay. That's okay, Maureen. We're just getting started, really. Okay, this is actually kind of crooked, but I would have probably put more dimension on that. So that is the very first one. You can see how simple it is. This is great because you can use your scraps, right? So you don't need to, if you're mass producing this, you don't need a ton of cardstock or designer series paper. You can use your scraps for these two pieces. This you could use as a scrap. This is just some ribbon. You can put it on, don't put it on, doesn't matter. And then these will just be your scraps as well. Okay, so you don't have to have a lot of supplies to create something very nice. Now, if you don't like this color combination, which is absolutely, you know, within your power, you don't have to like everything I do, but what I would strongly suggest to you is to take the layout, switch up the colors, switch up the papers, and see what you come up with, right? Because what I tell people is that this is your starting point. This is just to get those creative juices flowing, kind of give you an idea, and then you can decide, oh, but wait a second, if I use this paper and these colors, so for my anti-blue people who don't like blues or pool party for Christmas colors or winter colors, then you could recreate this entire card just in a whole different color theme, right? And different paper. And this, you don't have to use the bird. You could use it as a focal point. I could easily take this layout and turn it into like a birthday card. So I would just change, I could change the base, change my DSP, change the color of this. This could be a flower. It could just be a circle stamped with a flower. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, this. It's the layout, right? which is really, really important. Okay, so that's number one. I don't think I need my cherry cobbler ink pen yet anymore. Okay, I'm going to show you the original card that I made. It does not have a sentiment on it. Okay, I just used a different portion of the paper. This one had 2 birds, so you know, maybe that's an anniversary card. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Christmas card, right? Okay, so that's number one. Okay, number two is, for me, traditional, however, non-traditional colors. I am going to use Granny Apple Green, believe it or not, for a Christmas card. Now, if you follow me, you know that my green go-to is Old Olive, okay? But I thought, you know what? Let's make this a bright, fun card. So I chose to use Granny Apple Green for my base. I'm going to use a piece of basic white on top. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 down, and we're going to do some embossing. Now, I didn't pre-do the embossing because I wanted you to see the before and after result of this, okay? So I am going to scooch out behind me here just to do a little bit of embossing, just 30 seconds. I've die cut everything else except for some stamping. I'm going to do in a few minutes, but nonetheless, okay? So if you watched me last week, on Thursday, I think it was, I actually showcased the two-tone cardstock and what that kind of looked like, because our two-tone cardstock was just on sale last week for 20% off. So I have not played with it a tremendous amount, although I've been wanting to. So this kind of pushed me to try to play with it. So I thought, this is the two-tone. So this is Cherry Cobbler that I've got in front of me. So Cherry Cobbler is on the front, and then the back is a lighter shade. Now, in the video I did on Thursday or Friday of last week, I did explain that this is made different than our regular cardstock. So this is not dyed all the way through. It has a white tone. So when I tear this, it actually tears white. Whereas our regular cardstock, it's dyed all the way through. It's very complex to make that cardstock. And they're finding a lot of vendors don't want to do it anymore because it's quite a lengthy process. It's very expensive and all the things. So they have been, turning more and more towards this two-tone cardstock. I wasn't a huge fan when they first announced it. I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we getting away from our traditional, what we're known for, cardstock? But now that I've played with it, I really, really think it's fun. So I am going to emboss this with the Holly embossing folder. So I'm going to show you the embossing folder as soon as I'm done. But I want you to see this as is. Let me grab the Holly embossing folder if I can find it. Oh, maybe it's over here already. It is. Okay. So here is my Holly embossing folder. Okay, so this goes with the Holly Jolly bundle. And it's a hybrid embossing folder, which means it die cuts and embosses at the same time. I do have a card I will show you with that at the end, so make sure you stick around. But I'm going to actually put this into my embossing folder, and I'm going to emboss this. Okay? Okay, so don't run away on me. Oh, hang on. I have to get a plate. There you go. Okay. So, you saw what it looked like. Does anybody have two-tone cardstock? Has anybody been curious about two-tone cardstock? I honestly was like, I don't want two-tone cardstock. I just want a regular cardstock. Anybody? I know you guys are a little bit delayed behind me, but I think it's fairly new for most people. So when I take this out of the embossing folder, this one didn't do it as much, but you can see a little hint of the white underneath, right? So if I take, Heather says I do. Okay, perfect. So if I take my sanding block, now I don't know where I got the sanding block from, but I'm sure you can get these anywhere. If I just take that and just lightly rub it over my cardstock. Can you see what's happening? It is actually removing the top layer, and it's making that white that's underneath peek through. So depending on how much I want to go, I have two-tone cardstock. I love it. See? Yeah. I like non-traditional colors. Oh, that's good. I love the sample cards with it, yes. So, Sandra, I did see there are some assorted packs on the website. I was just looking it up. So our two-tone cardstock is $13.75 for a pack, but they do have a couple assorted packs. So go and check that out because they do have that. Okay, so see how now my hollies are all white, right? So it's kind of cool that you can do that and just kind of give it a different look, right? Okay, so I'm going to adhere this down here. Now, if you try to achieve that same task with our regular cardstock, it wouldn't happen. I do like the fact that the two-tone cardstock is a little bit lighter. It's not as thick as our regular cardstock, which actually for me is easier to work with sometimes, right? So sometimes it's like, I love good quality cardstock, don't get me wrong, and this is good quality cardstock. It's just not as thick as what we're used to. Okay, so that's what I have so far. Now in this Holly Jolly, I'm gonna just pause for a second here so that dries. So in our Holly Jolly stamp set, or suite, so the suite actually, how much is it? I wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget. It's $73.75, and this is what you get. You get the stamp set, you get the embossing folder, and you get the dies. Okay, so you get everything for $73.75, which is awesome. So this stamp set, at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, but I do like that it has some images here, and I do like the words, okay? The embossing folder, I love, absolutely. Now, the dies, let's take a peekaboo at the dies for a second. I haven't had a chance to put these into my magnetic sheet yet, but these dies come with these two rectangular stitched dies. Oh, Maureen, Maureen, where are you? Are you in Canada? Because some of the Canadian orders were, they were lost by UPS. And so my order that was supposed to arrive last week actually just arrived today. So it was on my front step. So these dies actually coordinate with the stamp set, right? So these are my hollies. This is that one. This one is the bells, and this one is the poinsettia. And then it has the word joy. Okay. So that's really super cool. Love it. But then the really cool thing about this is that this one is, I said, was a hybrid embossing folder. So what does that mean? I said it means you can die cut and emboss at the same time. So what would happen is if I put this into my, yeah, it's this way. Jeepers, now I'm starting to second guess myself. If I put this into my embossing folder, well, you have to put it in the right way though, because that usually helps if you do it the right way. I'm struggling today, friends. I am struggling. This will lock in, and then you can die cut and emboss at the same time. So the card that I did with that, this is one. I have a couple of them that are here. But see how I've embossed it, but it also pops up, right? So you can see the sample on online. They've got another card that they've done the same thing with. So these actually pop up. So I did that in one transaction with this and this. Okay, so it is very, very cool, and you want to just make sure that this comes as a bundle. Like, you can't get one without the other actually. So, okay, I'm done with this for a second. Let's get back to the card. I've got my fan going because I'm like dying of heat. Newfoundland. Okay, so that's awesome. So, so yours, you may have been one of the ones affected by the missing skid. There's a whole palette or skid of Canadian orders that UPS just kind of went, oops, we don't know. We don't know where those are. Yeah, so not great. So they finally got them on their way, but mine should have been here last week, and it just, I think it should have been here 2 weeks ago, technically. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this one here. So these are two different sizes, right? So I can actually layer these on top of each other, which is pretty cool. I could actually take my die and like put my smaller die inside here, and then I could cut it out and it would make like a frame. Okay, so lots we can do with that. So I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. I'm going to bring my white one and I'm going to just layer this as such. Okay, this is a non-traditional Cindy card because this is not something I would normally do, but I'm trying to think outside the box and I'm trying to open my creativity, because I find I always do the same thing and I'm trying to like push myself, right? Get out of the box. What do I tell my customers all the time? It's okay to go out of the box. I need to start taking my own advice for that, right? It's okay to go out of the box. Okay, so this one is this one. We'll go about there. Oopsies. Oopsie daisies. Okay, so I'm going to just let that dry for just a second. So I'm going to put that over there. So this is a die cut. And I have to say what I do like about this die cut is the fact that the top of the J, so the little dot, actually is attached. So in the past they have not been. So then you're always running trying to find your little dot. So I love that this is actually attached. If I had die cut this with any sort of smarts, I probably would have die cut this with an adhesive sheet to make my life a lot easier. But that would actually require putting some thought ahead. And I tend to always forget about adhesive sheets, which is really unfortunate because they're an amazing product. And you're probably thinking, well, why are you not using your fine tip glue for this? Well, because I have misplaced my fine tip glue. And I refuse to open up another one because I know I have quite a bit on it. So I figure when it's ready to show up, it will show up. Okay, so I'm just going to put the joy there. It's a pretty plain card. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually I'm going to stamp two of these hollies and I'm going to die cut them out. And we're going to put them in the corners just to kind of give it a little extra. Now these, I'm going to tell you, if you follow me, you know these cards are not what I would normally do. Way plainer than normal. But I wanted to make sure that everybody knows, like, cards don't have to be extravagant all the time. Although I think the next card is pretty awesome. I quite like it. Okay, so I'm just using my block memento. Now, I could use my Stampin' Write markers for this, but I'm going to actually just use my blends. I find that I actually use my blends way more. This one. I have one that does not open. I use my blends way more than I do my Stampin' Write markers now. And I think it's just because they're so smooth that I use them to color, not necessarily shading, but like coloring. So I'm just going to give you a heads up that on Thursday of this week, I am going to go live again. I have the projects already planned. I just have to cut them out, and they're going to be super fun. So you probably want to come back and join me for that, because I had so much fun creating those ones that I cannot wait to share those with you. Those are more Cindy style cards. The problem I find right now is that there is not really a ton of holiday Christmas product from Stampin' Up, which is a little disappointing. Christmas in July seems to be quite a big thing these days, And I feel like they kind of missed the boat a little bit on giving us even a kit or something for right now. They've given us, like, I think 1 or 2 stamp sets to work with. Okay, now I'm just gonna put those there for a second. Oh, I need the dark. So I'm using lemon, or what is this one? I'm using Lemon Lime Twist, which is actually kind of funny because I use Granny Apple Green, but I don't think anybody's gonna, you know, look at them and kind of put the colors that close together. All right. You know what? Actually, Maureen, I do too. This is why I really struggle with very simple cards, because if they don't have embossing on them, I think they look naked. If they don't have a ton of layers, I think they look naked. So I struggle. Like, these are not my traditional style cards. I like to do fun folds mostly. So this is, it's hard for me. And colors, these are not colors I would normally use. So, okay, I'm going to run behind me and I'm going to die cut these 2 out, and then we're going to adhere it to the card. And then we're going to start on the 3rd card, which is more of my style, more of what I would traditionally create. So just bear with me while I die cut these out. I'm just die cutting my 2nd holly. Okay, here we go. All right, now we'll finish up this card, and then the last card actually is using product that has not even been released yet. It's not coming out till September, so you're going to want to stick around to see if you like it as a sneak peek. Okay, so I'm going to put one of these hollies here, and I'm going to put one of these hollies. Now, I know holly is supposed to go this way, right? But I can't do it. I want this one to go this way. Okay? So super, super simple card. But I really wanted to show you how that two-tone cardstock works, because I think until you actually see it done, I think it's kind of hard to kind of grasp, like, what is it and why would I want it? Like, I don't get it. I didn't understand the full capacity of it either until I started to sit and play with it. And I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool stuff. I think I could handle this. And it comes in, I think, all of the colors, if not pretty darn close to most of the colors. Okay, so that was number 2. That's my original card. You can see they're pretty identical. Okay. All right. Now the last card is more of a traditional Cindy card, and it is using brand new product that's not even out yet. Okay, I don't know. My daughter's texting me and all I see was Lucky Duck. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Oh, okay. Okay, so this product that I'm going to showcase is doesn't come out until September. Yes, the two-tone cardstock is amazing for tearing. Absolutely. So if you didn't watch my video from Friday night, go back and watch it because it's kind of fun. So this product is coming out in September. It's called Peace on Earth. And I did show you this under, I think, in one of my unveiling videos. And so we have the stamp set, which I love because if you follow me, you know that I'm a font snob. So the font on this one is beautiful. I love the fact that this is not a holiday stamp set. It is an all occasion stamp set. So we have love, peace, love, and joy, which could be used for anything. Sending, wishing you all the best in your new adventure, which is amazing. With deepest sympathy, heartfelt prayers, peace on earth, and big hugs for a good friend. Okay? So it's an all-around stamp set. It does have a coordinating die set, and it has amazing paper that is over there. I did showcase it before, and it has glitter paper that comes with it as well as an option to purchase. It is blues, so if you're not a blue person, you may not love it, but I'm going to encourage you to take a peekaboo at it. It's stunning, and there's also ribbon, and there's also embellishments. Okay, so it's going to be an entire suite coming out in September. Peace on Earth is what it's called. Okay, let's get started on the card. So this one is a fun card. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold onto my score lines. And I'm using this color is called what? What is it called? It is called Secret Sea, which is one of the new in colors. It's one of my absolute favorite in colors. We had this conversation previously, and somebody asked, said it's kind of dark. It is kind of dark. I would say that it's a mix between. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that I've got this folded right. It's a mix between a navy, a gray. Yeah, I'd say a mix between a navy and a gray is what I would say. Okay, so this is some of the paper. So you can see that very subtle on the one side, or very printed, sorry, on the one side, very subtle on the other. And that seems to be a very, very, very common thing Stampin' Up! Does, is where they do one side very, very neutral and plain, and the other side is more printed, which I love because it stretches your paper out, right? Janet says my favorite too. Yes, it's awesome. Okay, so I kept my embossing powder out because I thought I needed it for this card, but that must be Thursday's cards. So come back and join me Thursday because you want to see those cards. They're amazing. They're beautiful. I love them. Okay, so I'm using this one there. I'm going to use one here. Now I know this is a lot of print, but it's okay. Okay. So remember, I will send you all the bits to this card, to all the cards that I showcased with a minimum $35 order. Okay. I can't do the stamping for you, but you can use whatever you have at home to do the stamping. But you will get all the Designer Series paper. You will get anything that I have to die cut. I will send you that as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close up my card. So this is just like a regular Z-fold card, right? This has been in my folder, so it's a little bit warped, but it's just a regular Z-fold card. So now what I'm going to do is this piece here, I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to maybe move it up just a hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open up my glue. And I'm going to place that about there. So I'm doing mine kind of in the middle, but honestly, it doesn't matter where you put yours. And then I'm going to put my glue. Oops. There. And the reason I'm doing it with it closed is because it just makes it a little bit easier. Okay. So let that dry. And as that's drying, I'm going to actually take this layer And I can go ahead and put this down. Now, if I was really, really on the ball, I probably would have cut a piece of smoky slate to do like an 1/8 of an inch trim to go behind the Designer Series paper, just to step it up another notch, right? But that would require me actually, you know, thinking ahead, which, as much as I like to say I do, I don't always. But that would actually break up how much blue is happening right now too. So I know some of you don't like the blue, but I'm telling you, this blue is, I hope that one day this makes it into our regular cards, or regular in color, or regular color family. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Secret C ink pad. I have die cut this, which is from the actual bundle, and I've die cut this, and I'm going to do, because this one, the only one in here that really is a holiday one, is Peace on Earth, or Peace, Love, and Joy. I'm going to do this one as Peace on Earth because I think that's kind of a nice big size. So if you signed up for my Christmas in July, you're going to see some of this suite as well. I had to be very selective as to how I created those cards because I had very, very, very limited supplies, but I think you will enjoy them. And again, you don't have the stamp set, it's fine. You can use whatever you have. It doesn't even have to be a holiday card if you don't want it to be. Okay, so Peace on Earth. Look how rich that is. It's just so stunning. Okay, I'm going to put it to the side for a second. Now, I'm going to take my tear and tape, and I'm actually going to run that there. I'm going to lift that up. Because let's be honest, who's lifting that with these nails? Not me. Okay, so then see this ribbon. This is it's Misty Moonlight is the color of the ribbon, but it has like a silver shimmer. Can you see that? And then it has like silver around the outside. Okay, so I'm gonna actually just take this. I'm gonna start about here, and then I'm going to. And the really awesome thing about this ribbon is that it's very easy to work with. So you know how sometimes you get ribbon and it's like so stiff that you can't do a darn thing with it, and you're like, oh my goodness, it won't do anything, like you can't manipulate it. That is definitely not this. This ribbon is so soft and so easy to work with. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take one. I'm going to actually use this because okay, so then I'm going to take my Peace on Earth, and that's going to go there. And then there's my card. Now, you're probably saying, well, where in the heck are you going to write your message? That's a beautiful card, but where are you going to write your message? Well, we would actually put our message, I have to cut this down, but we would actually put our message here. I'd cut this down, and then they would open it like this. And this could actually sit on their mantle, right? Because I like those cards that you can display as a piece of artwork. So yeah, so there's that one. Okay, so this is the one I did the other day. Same papers. Just because I was trying to pick a paper that really was pretty neutral. Is my, okay, it's not frozen. it didn't have a lot of pattern, because I find that when you have a lot of pattern in a card like this, it's a little too much, right? So so yeah, so this is what you would have. The person would be able to display on their card or on their mantle. And then there's that. I will show you this other card that I created it's a real caca card, but it uses the Holly Jolly embossing folder. It uses the joy and then the rectangle again. I didn't like this card, but anyway, I had a vision and that vision did not happen. Okay, so if you watch my videos regularly, you know that we have a process that we go through at the end of my videos. I'm just trying to see which one is the one from tonight. And what we do is we vote. Oh, hello, dear sister of mine. This card is my favorite, Charlene. It 110% is my favorite. This is more my style. This is a Cindy card. Like, that's kind of what I like to create. So what we do at the end of our video is we always, what do we do? We vote. We vote. Voting doesn't get you anything. It doesn't mean anything, but it just makes me, kind of see where everybody else's taste is at too. And Heather's on it. She says 3, 1, 2. And I have to agree with you. This one is my absolute favorite. This one's okay. This one, I don't know. It's out of the box for me. It's okay. I don't love it. Janet says 312. Charlene says 312. You guys all have very good taste, by the way. This one is, yeah. Like, if you gave somebody this card, would they not be like, wow, right? I would think so. This one too. Now you have to remember, the other thing I'm gonna just remind everybody of is that when you give people cards, unless they're avid crafters like yourself, they love everything. Okay, we have to remember that. They love everything because they don't know, right? Everybody's saying the same thing, 312. They're just in awe that you actually made it. They're like, you actually made this? Every time I give somebody at work a card, that's the reaction I get. You made this? I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. They're like, wow, that's incredible, right? They're just so happy that, you actually took the time to create for them. So yeah, so just because I don't like something doesn't necessarily mean somebody else won't like something, right? And the other thing I will tell you is a lot of times when I do my classes, I start with a card that I think I don't like the most, and that's usually the one that people like the most. Will I give the measurements? Yes, Joanne, I will give you the measurements. I just don't have them right close. They're on my template. Tie between the blue and the green. Yeah, these two are probably my favorites. So the other thing I'm very, very big on, friends, if you're new to my channel, is that I do a lot of measurements. Okay, I do a lot of measurements. Imagine that. I do a lot of templates, actually. And Joanne, while I have you, hang on. If I can find the template super quick, before you guys all run away on me, I'll give you the measurements right now, but I don't know where I put them. So I don't see them in my box. But yes, I will give you the measurements as soon as I find them. Okay, is that fair? Let me just see if I can, oh, here. It was on top. Okay, I'm going to show you what I do. And I'm going to strongly suggest you do this as well. Okay, this is my template. Okay, so what I did is I had a whole bunch of caca paper from the M store, okay, that I had bought for whatever purpose. I don't know. It was a silly purpose. And I have all sorts of caca DSP that I bought when my daughter was paper crafting with me, just because I didn't want her to use my good Stampin' Up! Stuff. I know, that's a terrible mother I am. So anyway, so I take this and I make my templates. And they're in a box behind me, and whenever I have to design something, I pull this out, right? So this one is actually, I'll give these to you, but I will post them as well, okay? So it's 4 1/4 by 11. So it's 4 1/4 by 11. So it's still half a sheet of paper. Okay. You're going to score it at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 is your standard fold, right? And then 2 3/4, which will give you the Z fold. Okay. And then you need this piece here is 1 1/4 by 11. And you score it at 5 1/2 and 8 1/4. Okay. And then your DSP, you need 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 by 4. So that's those two. So 2 1/2 by 4. You need 1 piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 for this piece. And then you need 2 pieces of DSP that are 1 inch by 2 1/2, which are these two, and 1 inch by 5 1/4. That's it. That's it. There's not a significant amount of cutting or scoring and all these things for this one. Okay, and it's just super easy. And this you can put wherever you want. I generally put mine about there, but I think this one, because of the piece on earth and the size of it, I think it was best suited in the middle. Okay, so yeah, so I will post those measurements as well. However, I would strongly suggest this is what you do. Whenever you find a card that you love, perfect, that's even better. Whenever you find a card that you love, create it on your Kaka paper. So that's the paper you're not going to use anymore because you've transitioned to Stampin' Up! Paper, and it's amazing. So you're going to use your dollar store paper, your M store paper, your Staples paper, wherever, and you're going to make your templates out of them. And then you're going to put them in a box, and then next time you need to create a card, you're going to pull out your box of templates, and that's where you're going to start from. Okay? Best tip I could ever give you. I wish somebody had told me that years ago. Okay? I have all these sticky notes with all these measurements, and then I don't know what they belong to, and anyway. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please be sure to come back on Thursday because I am doing a video, and I think we're using Charming Day for that one, and I am in love with the cards, so I'm super excited to share those with you. So come back and join me. Even though you think you know what the suite is, sometimes you don't always know what the suite is. So come and join me. Don't miss it. 7:30, I think it is, on Thursday. There is an event set up for it as well. And then, yeah, and you can find all the videos again on YouTube. So if you miss it, you just hashtag replay when you're commenting so I know who's watching on a replay. And all the videos are back on YouTube for you to review because Facebook removes them after, 30 or 60 days or whatever it is. So now you can always go back and watch those again on YouTube. And they're there indefinitely for you. You are very welcome, Charlene. Thank you for coming and thank you for watching. I appreciate it. So I hope you enjoy those, but be sure to come back Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we are going to have fun creating some beautiful, beautiful cards. All right, thanks everybody. Until Thursday, we'll chat soon. Bye-bye.